Well, welcome everyone to the Owensboro Board of Commissioners regular meeting, February the 7th, 2023. At this time, I'll call on City Clerk Beth Davis to please call the roll. Hey, Josh.
Commissioner Pam Smithroyd. Here. Commissioner Larry Maglinger.
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mark Castlin.
Here.
Commissioner Bob Glenn.
Here. Thank you. At this time, if you're able to stand, please, for the invocation and the pledge by Commissioner Pam Smithroyd.
Will you bow and pray with me, please? Dear Lord, we come this evening thanking you for another day. As we ask your guidance as we go through this meeting, I am thankful for all the blessings that you've given us. As we celebrate Black History Month, may we aim for a time when we, your people, are not separated by a month, that we will learn to live together, love together, respect, and be in unity. I pray these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is a proclamation for Black History Month. Whereas for many years, February has traditionally been observed as Black History Month throughout the United States. February was chosen to coincide with the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. And whereas the celebration of Black History Month began as Negro History Week, which was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, a noted African-American historian, scholar, educator, and publisher. And whereas Black History Month affords special opportunity to become more knowledgeable about Black heritage and to honor the many Black leaders who have contributed to the progress of our nation. And whereas such knowledge can strengthen the insight of all of our citizens regarding the issues of human rights, the great strides that have been made in the crusade to eliminate the barriers of equality for minority groups, and the continuing struggle against racial discrimination and poverty. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Hart Watson, the Mayor of the City of Owensboro, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2023 as Black History Month in Owensboro, and urge all citizens to join in recognizing and honoring the memory of those African Americans who made significant contributions to the advancement of our community and the world. Signed and sealed this 7th day of February 2023. So at this time, I would like to have Reverend Lewis come forward so I could present this to him. And,
I am Pastor Larry D. Lewis of the Zion Baptist Church here in Owensboro, Kentucky, where I have been the custodian for some 47 years. And I have stood in this place many times receiving the proclamation for Black History Month. And this time is no exception. Of course, the mayor has on many occasions come to our church where we have the gospel explosion. And we haven't had the gospel explosion since COVID. Hopefully we get that started back. But we accept the proclamation on behalf of the citizenry of Owensboro, all the Black citizens of Owensboro and Davis County, and all of you joining in with us, because it's not only our history, but it's yours as well, because we are one people, united together in love. there's a great event that's coming up, the Monita Sleet through Sleet's Eyes Festival. It's going to be held on February the 24th and 25th at the River Park Center. Monita Sleet, he grew up in Owensboro in Baptist Town and was a student for 12 years at the Western High School. And he went on to become a renowned photographer and worked for Ebony magazine. And he took that picture that all of us remember and reflect upon of Coretta Scott King and her daughter attending the funeral of Dr. Martin Luther King. So we're celebrating his life, his legacy, and what he means to the city of Owensboro, the imprint that he's left upon the lives of all of us, and we come to know him better if we attend the festival that's going on the 24th and 25th. On Friday, it'll be a Witness to History exhibit that'll be opened with jazz music by Owensboro Symphony Orchestra, and at 6:30 in the evening with Ozera Muhammad. On Saturday, the Sant guided exhibit experience at 3 o'clock. And on February 25th, also a community conversation with festival creatives. And at 6 p.m., a Witness to History exhibit open to the public. And at 7 p.m., the main program would be at Cannon Hall. Owensboro Men's Mass Choir, the mayor, and myself, we're part of. A fine remembrance and documentary. And then The Power of the Lens, the original play. So we hope that you can join in with us during these events of Black History. There's also a program that's going to be held at the 4th Street Baptist Church. They're having a play entitled Black is His Story. And that's February the 18th at 5 p.m. at the church. And if you want more information about this program, you can also go to 4th Street Baptist Church's page. So thank you so very much, and we accept this on behalf of all the citizens of Owensboro and Davis County. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Smith-Wright has a presentation.
Pastor Lewis was talking about Monita Sleet going to Western High School, and I have here that one of my family members found my grandfather's diploma from Western High School, and they had it restored, and I just wanted everybody to see this piece of history. My grandfather's name was Grant Gillard Talbot, and he graduated from Western Colored High School in 1919. And I am very proud of this, and I'm so happy that my cousin found this just looking through some stuff and had it redone. So, a piece of history from Owensboro.
Next item on the agenda is 5A. I'd like for you to consider the approval of the minutes from January 11th and, January 17th. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Deletions or additions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, ordinance, second reading. This will be a roll call vote. Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 5-2023, an ordinance amending Chapter 25, Article 4, Division 1, Section 25-118 of the Owensboro Municipal Code to include parking within 5 feet of a driveway. Read for approval on second reading the 7th day of February 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
We talked about this last time. City Manager, you have anything you'd like to add?
I do have just a quick overview and then one other comment as well, Mayor. This is second reading of an ordinance prohibiting parking within 5 feet of a driveway. Our current parking ordinance prohibits parking on a crosswalk, within an intersection, within 10 feet of a mailbox, within 10 feet of a fire hydrant, and blocking a fire station. Relatedly, state law restricts parking vehicles from blocking a public driveway or a public or private driveway. However, blocking a driveway is entirely different from ensuring unencumbered access to a driveway. We've received several complaints about vehicles parked at the edge or the corner of driveways. In this scenario, the driveway isn't blocked as prohibited by state law. However, a motorist might have difficulty or not be able to enter or leave a driveway because the parked vehicle blocks their turning radius. That is what led to the change in ordinance you're considering this afternoon. We've received questions about the ordinance and enforcement of the ordinance in particular. Deputy Chief J.D. Winkler is here to speak about that issue.
Mayor, Commissioners, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
This basically serves to kind of close a gap, as the city manager was saying, in the existing ordinance. For years, we've received a lot of calls, 4 to 5 a week, about people blocking driveways and not being able to safely pull out of their driveway and the traffic hazards that it creates. You know, some of the times, 50% or so, we can do something about it. Like the city manager was saying, if there's a mailbox that the neighborhood has in front of the driveway, you can't park within 10 feet of the mailbox, so we can do something about it. Particularly around the high schools where high school age kids drive, a lot of the curbs are painted yellow, so they can't park in those areas for the traffic hazards that it creates. But we still have those areas where there's nothing that we can do about it. So basically what this does is kind of makes the ordinance a little bit more consistent, so our enforcement is consistent. I know that there's been questions about if we're going to be out there looking for these. This is basically just so if we receive a call, we can address it and take care of our community and take care of our community consistently across the board. So we don't have the personnel or the resources to be out there with tape measures, making sure that everybody is 5 feet off of the driveway. We'll address it as the calls come in and they're received. So I'd be happy to take any questions.
I just want a point of clarification, sir. You know, we have a lot of homes that have a zero lot line, basically. So this would still apply to them as well. Is that correct?
So if basically any driveway, if you are parked within 5 feet of it, blocking it, then it would apply to any of the driveways. The ones that are left out, there's a lot of the neighborhoods that have community mailboxes are the ones that are hurting the most because there's no way for us to enforce it, and it does create challenges. We drive through the streets, you know, a little kid running out between cars, it gets pretty packed in some of these streets there.
Well, I asked that because of an email I got from someone that lives in a subdivision where it's basically zero lot lines, and I want to clarify that for the record then.
Yes, sir. It's any of the driveways in the neighborhood, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Smith-Wright.
Yes. You said that you would go by people calling in if they had someone there. So
Yes, ma'am.
what would be the problem with just doing that without an ordinance, that you would rely on whoever's calling in because their driveway was blocked?
Well, basically, if and a lot of these come in through city action, basically we wouldn't be able to do anything. We tell the citizen there's nothing that we can do about their driveway being blocked, so the behavior continues. And if you know, I know we had I think it was yesterday a bunch of a problem on Gemini and Collins around Apollo. They built a lot with plenty of parking. But the high school kids like parking on the street for whatever reason, you know, and not all the streets are painted with the yellow curb. And I'm sure that it would cost a lot of city resources to be painting all their curbs and everything to fill into that. So we did, and I left that out, but we did check with other cities. It's not like we just decided, you know, on an arbitrary number. We checked with Bowling Green, city about the same size as ours, Louisville, larger city, and Franklin, Kentucky, which is a smaller city. I think Bowling Green, theirs is 10 feet is what their ordinance says. Louisville is 4 feet, and Franklin, I believe, is 12 feet, ma'am. So, you know, we think that the 5 feet is a good compromise.
Commissioner Glenn.
So my question is, it sounds like you keep pretty good records of when these incidents occur. Is it possible maybe in 6 months to come back and you can just email us, don't come here, you got other stuff to do, JD. But to kind of give us an update of how it's working?
With the
Yeah, if we
complaints.
pass this tonight, how well it's working? And
Yes, sir. Yeah,
how
we
often it
can.
gets used?
Yeah, and the majority of them come in through city action, and our traffic unit actually handles all the calls related to that. So we'll have a record just primarily through city action, but we open up complaints or whatever, issue citations for that, parking citations.
So, and that's my last question. So a parking citation would be what, like a $10 ticket? What is it
Yeah,
normally?
10
But it's not like a traffic ticket. where
Correct, sir.
You
Yeah,
have
it's
to
just,
sell a child to pay it back, yeah.
Yes,
It's
correct,
over
sir.
Nearly $200. Okay.
yes, sir. It's not go to court and pay a $250 fine ticket. No, sir.
Thank you, and thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Any other discussion? Commissioner Caston?
Yes, I too have had several calls, concerned that there's only 6 or 8 feet between the driveways with the car parked in there, or actually 2 or 3 feet in the front and the back of the cars, and people being concerned about it. I've reassured them this is going to be complaint-driven only, and that you guys are not going to be out trying to look for these individuals on a daily basis. It just basically gives you a legal point to go ahead and ticket someone if they will not work with their neighbors on the problem.
Correct, sir. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, we don't have the resources to go out and be measuring cars to make sure that it's going to be complaint driven. We receive a call, we'll address it, and but no, we're not going to be sending the traffic unit out to inspect the distances from driveways, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, JD.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I guess we are ready to have a roll call vote, Ms. Davis.
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Maglinger,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Castlin,
Yes,
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 7 on the agenda. First reading, there'll be no vote. Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 6-2023, an ordinance annexing to the city of Owensboro certain unincorporated territory in the county of Davis, adjoining the present boundary line of the city, being property located at 155 Salem Drive, containing a total of 2.502 acres, more or less, at the request of Crandall's Bypass LLC, introduced and publicly read on first reading the 7th day of February 2023.
Thank you. City Manager, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. This is first reading of an ordinance annexing into the city 2.5 acres located at 155 Salem Drive. It is a consensual annexation, meaning the owner of the property has signed a consent form requesting the city take this action. I understand the owner is developing 5 or 6 commercial units he intends to lease at the site, and we'll consider an annexation incentive for the project at our next meeting. Refer you to the screens that you see. The parcel in question there is the 2.5 acres at 155 Salem. There behind you can see the divided highway that is Highway 60, or what many of us still refer to as the bypass. And so there's Salem Drive and J.R. Miller on the right-hand side, J.R. Miller Boulevard. And so it is across from Crandall's Home Furnishings.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay. We'll move to item 8, municipal order 8A. Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 7-2023, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an application for a fiscal year 2022 Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program through FEMA in an approximate amount of $222,265.45, the proceeds of which will be utilized by the City of Owensboro through its Owensboro Fire Department to pay overtime for 6 employees to attend the Joint Paramedic Program offered by the Owensboro Community and Technical College. The funds will also pay for program tuition and various course fees. A 10% match of $22,226.55 is required by the city. Read for approval on one reading the 7th day of February 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve this municipal order. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager.
Last year, the city, county, and AMR partnered for a joint paramedic course for employees of all three agencies. The course went well and produced 2 new paramedics for the Owensboro Fire Department. Because this initial course was successful, the partners are planning to offer a paramedic training course for a second time. This municipal order approves a grant application for $222,265 to pay for much of the cost for overtime, tuition, and related fees for up to 6 OFD staff to participate in this second paramedic program. Although the grant requires a 10% match, we will budget for a certain number of firefighters to pursue paramedic certification in next year's budget, so funds will be available to satisfy the match if the grant application is successful.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the dais? Chief, you have anything to add?
Brought Tate with me in case you have any questions.
Good. Tate, you have anything you want to add?
No, sir.
Good deal. All right. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8B, Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 8-2023, a municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute grant agreements for the 2020 CDBG CV Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus first and third round funding in the total amount of $531,849 to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus. Read for approval on one reading this 7th day of February 2023.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The city previously received $294,117 in the first round of the Community Development Funds for coronavirus impact mitigation. The funds were used to provide rental assistance and support for micro enterprise businesses of 5 or fewer employees, and both of which were subject to income qualifying guidelines. Although the city did not receive funding in the second round, we have received an additional $237,732 in the third round of federal funding. This municipal order amends our consolidated plan, annual action plan, and approves the receipt and expenditure of the funds for the same purpose as our round 1 funds, which again is rental assistance and micro enterprise assistance for employees of 5 or less.
Thank you. Any discussion? So how do they apply, City Manager?
Mayor, the applications for both programs, I believe, are online.
Online.
The rental assistance payments go directly to the landlord, not to the tenant as well, to ensure that they are used for their intended purpose.
Good deal. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8C, Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 9-2023, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement authorizing participation in the Kentucky League of Cities Investment Pool Plus. Read for approval on one reading this 7th day of February 2023.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please? City Manager, do you have anything?
I do, Mayor.
Okay.
This municipal order allows the city to participate in the Kentucky League of Cities Investment Pool. The league has various investment options it makes available to cities across our Commonwealth. While we do not have plans to invest city assets in the KLC pool at this time, approval of this order allows us to do so in the future if and when the investments available in the pool provide the return or diversification we deem to be in the city's best interests. In 2018, the Board of Commissioners at that time approved a new investment policy, and any investments on behalf of the city, whether with KLC or any other financial institution, are subject to that policy.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9, City Manager items, sir. 9A.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a few personnel appointments for your consideration this evening. Noah Bennett, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to Recreation Specialist with the Parks and Recreation Department effective February 13th. William McLaughlin, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to Road Worker with the Street Department effective February 20th. Zachary Brown, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to Road Worker with the Street Department effective February 7th. Austin Wrights, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to Laborer Maintenance Helper with the Grounds Department effective February 7th. and Courtney Yarrington Burton, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to police lieutenant with the police department effective February 13th.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve these appointments. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 10, communication from elected officials. Commissioner Smith-Wright.
I don't have anything this time, Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Maglinger.
Thank you. I want to congratulate the Museum of Fine Arts for the very large donation they received today. It was a very good presentation. Also want to thank Owensboro Health for supporting our area nonprofits. 25 organizations received over $540,000 in grants today. So I want to thank them for supporting much needed causes. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Castleton.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, kind of piggybacking on Commissioner Maglinger there, I too was at the Museum of Fine Arts today, and Dr. Medley made a very, very nice donation to the museum, $1 million. And I also want to thank Reverend Lewis and their choir for inviting me to participate in the singing at the Zion Church.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're desperate, I know, but
we got to have a chat, man.
it was very enjoyable, and I plan on being there in the future, and just want to thank you for the invitation and accepting. That's it.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes, I just want to recognize the work of folks at Owensboro Community and Technical College, who hosted a diversity, equity, and inclusion event. It was attended by over 300 people, both online and live. The speakers were amazing, the ones I got to see. I think people really had their eyes open, particularly in wake of what's happened with the mistreatment of citizens across the country by police. And just generally how we need to pay attention to our attention regarding matters of race, gender, and equity. So I thought it was a wonderful program, and I want to thank Sharmi Davis and the rest of the group that organized. I think it went very well.
Thank you. At this time, I have open public forum. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Commission on any matter of public concern that was not on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of this commission. Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of Owensboro citizens and taxpayers. At this time, anyone who wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks to 3 minutes.
My name's Charlie Hayden. I'm an ex-firefighter, and I'm on the pension board. I have quite a bit of a problem. I walked in tonight and found out it was Black History Month. Martin Luther King had a dream. Well, I've got an imagination, according to the mayor. In the last meeting in November, we got an evaluation of the Police and Firefighters Pension Fund as of June 30, 1920. Now that's over 2 years ago, and it was just presented November 22. Now, it questions the lack of integrity for y'all to get a report dated June 30, 2020, and the pension board don't get it till November 16, 1922. But that's my imagination. And I wish the commission board would look into it, because I know the mayor thinks it's my imagination. My question is, why did it take 2 years after the report was made for it to get to the pension board? That bothers me. It seems to question the integrity of the Board of Commissioners and the mayor. My number 2 reason, the report stated in 1994, the Kentucky legislature give the cities, second-class cities, Owensboro, permission to raise the widow's pension to $400. Now, Owensboro was so broke that they had to wait 4 years to get them pensions raised to $400. According to the evaluation of 2020, it said that the pension was raised to $400. As of June 30, 2020, the widow's pension was about $652. That means for the last 22 years, the city of Owensboro has increased the widow's pension about $11.45 a month. Now, I can't believe a city that claims to be a Christian city believes treating widows that way. We've got widows that do without medicine. They turn down their heater in the winter. They turn their air conditioner up in the summer. They do without food. They depend on their kids and their grandkids. And we call ourselves a progressive city. But that's my imagination, and I want y'all to help me figure it out. Now, if I'm wrong about these numbers, the police chief this year got a $300 a week raise versus a widow's 22-year raise of about $250. Seems strange. Now, if I'm wrong, I want you to let me know, because the mayor says this is my imagination. So my question to the city commission is, what is wrong about my facts and my figures? I'd like to be corrected publicly if you don't care, because it's my imagination. Now, there's one more thing that really bothers me tremendously. Now, if you'll notice at the top yellow highlighter, people at the meeting, Mayor Tom Watson, Angela Weiniger, and Chief Art Allen were present at this meeting November 17, 2021. If you'll drop down to the bright pink part, motion was made by Mayor Watson to increase the wages by 5.9%. And the board passed it unanimously. That's the second yellow part. Now, that's what the minutes of the meeting says. When we got downstairs, the raise went from 5.9 to 5%. Y'all didn't give a 5.9% raise. You gave a 5% raise. Now, that's kind of questions the integrity. It really fuels my vivid imagination. I can't imagine voting to give 5.9 and then get downstairs and change it to 5. But to add insult to injury, on the November, make sure I get my numbers right here, 23 meeting, the police chief, the mayor, Ms. Weiniger, voted to accept these minutes as accurate. They're totally inaccurate. The minutes they voted to accept are wrong. Is that the way this city's going to operate? Why would a mayor and a police chief and a finance director vote to accept minutes they knew was inaccurate and that they'd changed? Then again, it's my imagination. So my third question is, does the board of directors, commissioners, approve of this? The fourth question is, who put the police chief on the pension board? I went back and looked, and the Board of Commissioners voted to put the police chief on the pension board. Now, it's hard to run the pension board fairly when you got 3 votes stacked against you who vote for illegal and incorrect minutes of meetings. Just can't be done. Before the Board of Commissioners voted to put the police chief, who had no business being on the board, had no reason whatsoever, no money, nothing in the board at all. How many police widows did y'all ask to be on the board? How many police widows turned you down? Why didn't you ask some of the police widows to take the seat on the board? Now, I realize I'm not going to get answers tonight, and I don't want answers. I would like to come back 2 weeks from now and get the answers and give y'all time to get it together. This is not the way it's supposed to work. There's an election coming next year, and I'm going to do my best to get rid of this corruption. This is not right. No widow should do on less than $15 a year raise. It's pathetic. If I'm wrong, show me, and I'll shut up and go home. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Anybody else? Okay. At this time, I'll make a motion to enter into closed session under KRS 61.810, parentheses 1, close parentheses, open parentheses B, close parentheses, to discuss future acquisition or sale of real property. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Yeah, I thought I made the motion. Didn't I make the motion? Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And we do not anticipate any action following the closed session.